Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, back for more Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. This time, Cultists of the Abyss. Tanned skin 09044. So I'm going to more or less just do one model on camera, since there are 7 sculpts here. So I'll show a bit of each. So, in the actual escalation expansion, they're just referred to as cultists, but in the Warhammer 40,000 rules supplement that comes with it, they're referred to as cultists of the abyss, which stands out a little better because standard. I should mention there's a lightning storm going on, so yeah, there's going to be thunder. But anyway, they are cultists of the abyss in the Warhammer 40,000 rules, which helps distinguish them from Chaos Cultists, because actually this team is equipped a lot, seems to be equipped better to a certain extent. Auto guns, and one's always got a grenade launcher, one's always got a heavy stubber. The champion's got a chainsword here, and a stub carbine. I'm fairly certain champion is a she as well, but okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all the skin tones on all 7 models on camera to start with. And I'm going to mix it up a bit. I've just kind of randomly picked out, I've picked out 3 different skin tones and randomly picked 3 different, let's see, is she, I think she's wearing pants. I just kind of randomly assigned colors to models. Because you only get one of the cultists is actually aiming his auto gun. I think we can assume that's the equivalent to assault rifles, if I understand it. Which, from what I've seen, seems to have the same stats as a las gun, which means, well, I'm just going to leave it at that. Which means a las gun's not better than an assault rifle. I'd imagine a las gun power cell's going to have more ammo, though, but that's just conjecture. I know there's role-playing games that probably have better stats on that sort of thing, but I don't have any of those, don't play any of those, so. Okay. Now I'm gonna take, I think, Dark Skin 09041, and there's gonna be a big one. Dark Skin 09041. Well, I can say this about this video already. It's going to be interesting one way or another. I think that one set off every car alarm on the block, too. So, I'm avoiding the lighter skin tones overall because most of these cultists are going to come from the working class of the Imperium. The more or less enslaved individuals that are stuck doing all the real work with little to no chance of advancement other than the Imperial Guard, but most people who join that voluntarily are going to end up as cannon fodder and casualties in their first campaign. And I actually have a second group of these because I bought the separate expansion to be capable of playing Blackstone Fortress on hard mode, but I'm going to paint that one later, not on camera. Do some different stuff with the coloration. This is one of those things where once I start, it's too late to stop, and I can't do reshoots without spending weeks stripping paint. You know what? I'm going to do one more cultist with the tanned skin before I switch. So I'm going to go back to that, and then we have the grenade guy here with the tanned skin. because I'm using one that's a bit lighter. Oh, I guess he's got a breastplate on with an ab-revealing breastplate. That's fine. I'll be able to pick it out easily enough when I get to the armor. I'm just going rough here and refine as I keep going. Actually, I suppose given that many of these people live in hive cities, I could probably get away with an albino color scheme. I might try that on the next group. Okay. And golden skin 09092. What's kind of funny is, if the Imperium wasn't so afraid of the Chaos Gods, and actually, you know, offered a little more upwards mobility to the citizens of it, the Chaos Gods' offers may not be all that attractive. I think this one's a woman. Yeah, cultists with heavy stubborn, it's a little tough to tell. So just, yeah, definitely got a shirt on and detached. I think that's an armlet, actually. So again, just kind of playing around with color schemes there and see where we end up. And I feel the actual regular Chaos Cultist kit is something that needs an upgrade. Definitely looks like one. Seems like one of those things that you'd have to heavily modify, especially to get the maximum squad size, 30 and 40 man squads, which seems to be a little inconsistency between various books on that. Unless certain sub-factions of Chaos Space Marines can just use bigger squads anyway. I'm starting to ramble again. Alright, that's a pretty solid start. Now I'm going to switch to just doing a bit here and there on camera and let that dry for a bit before moving on. Oh, now those are drop frames, oh boy. Okay. Next, uniform gray. I'm going to go ahead and do some cloth. I get the pants and the shirt. Thought for a minute this might be armor, but doesn't seem to be that way. Okay. You know, do that in different colors. Okay. Apply that to the rest. Move on when it's dry. Okay. Next, I'm going to take Violet Red 09026 and do this one's hair while I'm waiting on the rest of this to dry up. It seems I need to clear a clogged nozzle, so that's easy to do. Oh boy, that went out erratically. So, hair dyes are common, especially among gangers in the underhives of the massive plant-sized hive cities. And they are the most likely to, well, I shouldn't say the most likely to turn to chaos, but, yeah. I'm going to put this on the chain sword as well. So, where'd she get it? Well, she's either an ex-Imperial Guard, or she more likely stole it. Took it as a trophy, whatever. And Marine Teal 09077. Not specifically dedicating this unit to Zeech, but I do like this color. It'll help contrast against the overall darker color scheme they're going to have. It seems that the Servants of the Abyss, Malix is a Colton challenge from the Ramble. Looks like they seem to serve the Chaos Gods as a whole, as opposed to any specific one. What's interesting in one of the books on Abaddon that came out in the last couple of years, seems like he's avoiding getting favors from the Chaos Gods or avoiding their influence. He'll use the power he can, but he's not going to let the Chaos Gods dictate his actions. Okay. And next, Chaotic Red. I'm going to do some secondary cloth here. And those bright colors are only going to be on the 2 models. This darker red is on all of them. And I think I need to rework my lighting again. That's too much paint. I'm going to try to avoid hitting the pant legs. There's a little bit of chainmail on here, which while on a ceramite-clad space marine, the chainmail would largely just be symbolic, but these cultists, it's probably about the best they can scavenge. And they make do with what they can get. And I'm picking this color because it matches what I did with Obsidious Malix and his cloth a while back. And that's good. I'll apply that to the rest and move on when it's dry. So, let's see if I can get this to focus a little bit. Maybe. No. Alright. I'll play with lighting more and see if I can fix this again. Oh, there we go. Hey. Alright. Recording. Okay, where is it? Dark Elf Skin 09164. For this one, getting boots. Yeah, this is the first thing I do this one, so I'm really tired. It's been an exhausting week. And belts and straps. This bandolier for the extra grenades. This harness here, and many of these models don't seem to be wearing a whole lot of armor outside of the champion. Many of them have masks or helmets, but not a lot. Okay. I think that's it for this one, because the rest of this is no, one more bit. Got a sort of wristband on. Got some wristbands on. We'll do those in the gray as well. Yeah. Okay. Let that dry and move on. I'm having focus problems again, it seems. Okay. Next, Stormy Gray 09088. And this is going to go on grenades and auto guns. Been a long, disastrous week, so I am really wiped out right now. And I'll do the ammo case as well. Okay. Apply that to the rest, and I've just got a couple of base coats left, I think. I'm just about there. I'm still not sure if I'm facing focus or not. Okay. Is it Tarnished Steel 09206? I think where I'm getting into trouble saying that is when I go from the D to the S. But getting the chainmail here. And she's got armor plates on her boots. Well, at least one armor plate on her boot. The armor going over the shoulder. I haven't forgotten about the chainsaw, that'll be last. So I may, I'm toying with the idea since I have another squad of these for the, oh boy, I cannot say abominable tonight. Okay, abominable intelligence expansion. I'm thinking of going with an albino skin tone on that. Now I wasn't going to paint that unit on this camera, but in fact it's something I'd be doing much later after I finish all the other Blackstone Fortress models I've got, or related models I've got coming up. But if you want to see that on camera, let me know in the comments. But yeah, better hurry, because once I finish 4 more videos beyond this, I'll be taking a little break to do some models I'm not going to do videos for, which will include all these other Blackstone Fortress hostiles for use with the abominable intelligence expansion. Being real careful on the teeth. Getting the hook. And apply that to the rest. I'll be playing around with the shading and highlighting on the armor. There's going to be a few more colors though. Actually, yeah, there'll be another color or two for base coats before I move on. So let it dry, hit the rest, and back in a bit. Oh, that too much to ask my camera to focus routinely. Okay, last base coat, tarnish, or no, old bronze 09197. I was thinking about a different color. And for this, exposed ammunition. And I'll say it again. I think we really need a new Chaos Cultist sculpt, or at least something, well, kit, or at least something, a few more options. And then the unholy symbols carry. And that's going to be base coats, so apply to the rest. And let's all dry and start shading. Oh boy, excuse me. Allergy season. Alright. And on the camera, there we go. Okay. Time to shade. Deep Ocean 09076. The Champion is the only model that's going to have this color. Thinning with 1 part water to 1 part paint. And just going over the base coat and letting it flow. Avoiding hitting any of the other colors. And Burgundy Wine 09025. So it's going to go on a couple of things. I'll just go ahead and do both on camera, since that's how I went with the base coats. Chainsaw, which again she probably took as a trophy or stole from somebody she probably murdered. Kind of the same thing, really, when you think about it. Alright. And then on this one's hair, and aged Pewter 09176. Did get a little less in the brush there. The ammo and the chaos icons, and apply that to the rest and move on when it dries. Good start. Better if I can get this to focus more reliable. There we go. Alright. I think I lost track of how I was going to do this. Uh-oh. I've got to figure it out. Matte black. Now, with darker colors like this, you'll need 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint to make a shade. Otherwise, you'll end up diluting all your details. Or not, that's not the word I'm looking for. It'll overwhelm the other colors. This is the first, these videos usually take me a couple of days between other commitments to get done, and this is the first thing I'm doing in the morning, so I'm still waking up. So we're just going to go over the Stormy Gray here. It seems to be just a little thinner. It's getting the auto gun. Yeah, see, that's a little too dark and you can't really see much of the gray. You want some of your base coat showing through. Then the grenade. So he's got a frag grenade, or no, a crack grenade. Okay, I'll apply this to the rest. And a little more on the handle here. We'll apply this to the rest and move on in a bit. And you know, there's a reason I did this particular model on camera, and it's simply because I'm a sucker for drum magazines. I don't know why. Alright. Now next, Blackened Steel 09205. This is only going to go on the chainsword's blades. And this is the only model carrying a melee weapon. I'm going to be cautious about how I go about this. Thinning out. Just let it flow. Okay. Now for the armor, I'm going to take Gunmetal Blue 09126. Yeah, this should give me the effect I'm going for. I'm going to do something a little different on the armor. And it's plugged up, so that's why I keep paper clips handy. This is also an older bottle, so it's doing that. And maybe that's enough. Let's see if I can't focus a bit. That helps a little. I am probably still going to be fighting this focus issue for a while, but the point is I keep trying. I'll thin it out. And I'm going to go over the rest of the metal with it. And should provide an unusual color to it. Especially when I combine it with the highlight I intend. And I definitely want to make certain it gets into the, what's what I'm looking for, the recesses as thoroughly as possible. Because there's a lot of chaos iconography in it, like on the bracer here. I want to make certain ends up getting taken care of. Refreshing the paint as needed. I'll get the chain on the weapon as well. The chain sword. Which again, probably looted from someone she murdered. Making certain my shade gets into all the nice recesses on the armor here. Is this armor impractical? Kinda. Is it cool? Yes. Okay. A little more on the chainmail there, and some showing through here I'll get. And that's good. Apply that shade to the rest. I think I need a little more on the horns here. So apply that all to the rest, and move on in a bit once it's dried. It's too much to ask for this thing to focus a little better. There we go. I am going to be fighting that focus for a while, but I'll get there. Okay. Next, where is it? Dark Elf Shadow 09163. Yeah, I think I may have made a mistake in making the ammo belt coming to the heavy stubber almost the same color. Oh well, I'm just going to roll with it. It's done, it's done. Cloth. Belts and straps and bandoliers. Shade in that ammo belt. And the boots. Okay. Get there. Apply to the rest and move on. Okay. Next. Red brick 09001. And thinning out and going over that red. Especially I want to make sure it gets in these holes in the cloth here. Keep the paint nice and thin. Okay. Apply to the rest, let it dry, and move on. We're closing in on being done with the shading. Okay. Stormy Gray 09088. Just got this and the flesh tones left, so just about done with shading. One part water, one part paint again. And it's going over all this other cloth. The red is not completely dry on some models, but it's dry enough I can move on. Okay. And apply to the rest, and that's just going to leave the flesh tones, and then I can start going off there. Okay, time to wrap up the shading. I'll just go ahead and do all the skin tones in one take here. So dark shadow 09040. Let's go ahead and do all 7 models on camera, which will, and this is cloud, while increasing the length of the video a bit, will also speed this process up for me substantially. I don't have to worry about screwing around with the equip too much. Again, thinning out 1 part water to 1 part paint. Go around ears, mouth, other ear. I just like to mix up the skin tones where appropriate, and by that I mean I go by the fiction. The game is less cosmopolitan with more homogeneous populations. I'll go with what's kind of official there, like in War Machine. That's one example. But games where it's clear there are multiple cultures interacting, I mix it up. So Warhammer 40,000, Malifaux, Relic Knights, like to do that. So it just kind of depends on the setting of the game. Yeah, this one has some kind of cable going right into his gut from his mouth. There's got to be some kind of cybernetic augmentation there. Not exactly sure what, but we'll warm up first guy. And that one is Golden Shadow 09091. Give this a chance to focus in while I get the paint shaken up and spray it out here. Something's wrong with this bottle. I think that's enough to work with. Where's my lid? It helps to always cap your paints right away. Just kind of one section at a time here. Yeah, the tank top she's wearing has kind of a weird cut to it. And part of it's how the model fits together as well. Well, it's tricky to tell exactly where it's supposed to start and where it's supposed to end. Right in here where the bandolier for the heavy stubber goes over the shoulder there. Okay, that's got it. 10 Shadow 09043. Kind of funny, but these cultists of the abyss, I think I mentioned this earlier, seem better equipped to a certain extent than the traitor guardsmen. Well, they might have to worry about running out of ammo a little more. I mean, I'm assuming that a lasgun's advantage over a auto gun is that it's got a larger magazine, but all of these guys seem to carry grenades, even if only one of them might be able to use it, but just kind of one of those things. I'm just grabbing these models off my table at random here. So, pretty much shaved head except for a top knot. Got the long shirt, just get that off there. So the paint flow right here in the midriff. It's good there. I think this one's supposed to be a woman too. It's hard to tell because of the breastplate, but if it is, then it's probably one of the more practical. If it is a woman, then it's one of the more practical breastplates I've seen on a female model ever, I think. But there seems to be a mix of frag and crack grenades among the cultists. This is the only model actually in the process of throwing one now. A little bit seeped under the belt. Just blot that out. And once this all dries up, I can start highlighting and get this wrapped up. Okay, time to highlight. So, dark highlights 09042. I was thinking about doing another wash of a gray over them, but decided against it because I kind of like the way they are now. So we'll just do this and call it good. Ragged feathered brush, something like that. Rub most of the paint out on a paper towel till it looks like there's nothing left. And we're going to dust the area to be affected, going against any raised areas like the scars on the bicep here. Refreshing the paint as needed. Let's get all the skin tones at once here. Working from the lowest point on the model to the highest. Golden highlight 09093. Maybe I needed to do a second base coat on this one, but you know what? If it looks weird, that's okay. These guys are enthralled to chaos and may eventually mutate. Probably not, because they'll probably be slaughtered by their enemies long before that happens, since chaos tends to use these guys and gals as cannon fodder, but that's a possibility that they could hypothetically develop mutations at some point. I think got a bit too much paint on that, but that's alright, that's fine. highlight 09045. That one's too broad. This will work. Paint was doing something funny. I'm not going to worry about it. It's fine. So I'm focusing on the most readily visible areas. And the champion. Now this dries very quickly, so not quite, but almost instantly, so you only have a few seconds to rub off any mistakes. That's good. And now I'm going to take Misty Gray 09090 and take the cloth. Pretty good. I'm going to apply to the rest and move on in a second there. Alright, Vampire Red. I still have no idea what the hose going from under his mask to his gut hat is for, but not all cybernetics are obviously useful at first. And for all we know, this cultist could have turned to chaos after going into a Medicaid for something minor and ending up with some sort of stomach pump or something odd thrown in there for no reason he could fathom. And that highlights the folds in the cloth nicely. Oh boy, and he went flying. That highlights the folds in the cloth nicely, so I'll apply to the rest and move on. I will figure this focus out sometime. Okay. Tarnished brass is 09198. So you do all the models that need this on camera here because there's not a whole lot. Oh, actually, I take that back. There's a little bit on everything, so we'll switch to this guy because he's got a little more. Forgot about the chaos icons they all carry. So pretty much just those and any exposed ammunition like these grenades. Apply to the rest and back in a bit. Okay, next, Dark Elf Highlight 09165. Not too much of, well, actually no, I take that back, there's a fair bit of this. I'm getting a little mixed up. I am going to need a thinner one. So, straps. Belts with any pouches. Boots. So, to a certain extent, it's a secondary cloth color. It does have significant things on the model, but it's not meant to stand out as much as the red or the armor. Okay. More on that wristband. Apply to the rest, and just a shoulder little. Apply to the rest, and move on. Okay. Next, True Silver 09207. Now this is only going on one specific part. That would be the blades of the chainsword. Well, blade and teeth. It's got that little hook on it. So I suppose that counts as a blade, but and then go ahead and do a color exclusive to this model, and that's Surf Aqua 09078. And the bigger one's fine. She's got a lot of hair. And a highlight. Okay, that's pretty good. A nice blend of light and dark in there. And uniform gray will start on the guns and grenades. Well, can I get this to focus a bit, please? Well, I focus for a bit. So I got exactly what I asked for. I don't particularly see any of the Cult of the Abyss as worshipping any specific chaos god, but rather the pantheon as a whole. But maybe this champion does like Zeech a little bit more. Just highlight that frag ray on her belt. There's stub carbine. Which is a nice drum magazine, which I'm a big fan of. I don't know why. And that's all of that on her. I'll apply to the rest and come back in a bit. I gotta figure out this focus thing. I really do. Okay. You know what? Let's do that first. Pale Violet Red 09027. So a little bit of this. So her top knot. Get some nice highlights there. Well, or we could should get this thing to focus, but it's really fighting me. I'm gonna have to just keep playing around with this lighting until I figure it out. I'm getting there. And the chain sword. Now Scorched Metal 09125. And the steel plus the gunmetal plus this should give an interesting combination. I don't think I'm not even exactly certain what it's going to do, but we're going to find out together. So an experiment. And that's not bad. It's like a nice strong contrast between the most visible areas and the recessed areas. And the chaos iconography is coming out nice and clear, and this on the base should, yeah, that looks nice and weird and definitely appropriate to chaos. So add a little more on that brace to make that half star stand out. But that's not bad at all. So let's apply that to the rest and move on. Wow. I thought I had more highlights to do, but that was the last one with that scorched metal. So, matte black. Gonna get some gun barrels with this. I just realized this is the first model in a long time where I haven't had to use any white on anything. That's just fine. There's no lighting effects, there's no power cells, no nothing that I need to make brighter, so get out a fine brush. Using the same amount as water as a base coat, so just enough to thin the paint. We're just going to fill in the gun barrel here. Just apply that to all of them real quick. And on this one, the gun barrel, this little circular motion. And we'll fill in here where the magazine goes. Here, and this actually has a hollow gun barrel anyway, but I'm just going to go ahead and just ring around the inside with it anyway, just in case. And there's a stub carbine. Make that a little bigger. And then switching over to a flathead brush, using the same matte black. Just gonna carefully, being very careful on the feet, line the edge of the base. Okay. Let that dry up completely. Apply to the rest, and I can walk or apply the towel. So back in a bit for the basing. Okay, time to base. White glue, convenient container. And plenty of water. Keep your brush wet there in all of this. Oh, punched out my light there. Just get nice and uniform. And paint around the feet of the model. And get a nice solid coat. And then for my base material, I'm using Talus, which is rock gray, using fine and coarse. Give it a dip, tap off the excess there. I'm just going to brush around the edge with my finger. I'm going to take a spare brush that is dry And just push it away from areas I don't want it. Okay, apply to the rest and give that 20 to 30 minutes, give or take, to set. Then I can seal it and wrap up, so back in a bit. Okay, time to wrap up. Scenic Cement, this is a Woodland Scenics product. Glass eyedropper, this stuff will bond to plastic quick. Just gonna carefully drop that on there. You need to give this material some time, your basic material, that is, some time to set beforehand, otherwise this will just make divots in it. Just do them all on camera here since they're all so unique. Last thing I need to do, which I cannot do on camera, is varnish it, because that involves a spray can. So this cement will keep your basic material on the base, seal it, and give it a rock hard finish. The varnish will seal your paint job and keep it from chipping off, or at least prevent it. It'll still possible to have a varnished model chip. Oh boy, that spilled. It's still possible for a metal model to have its paint job chip even when varnished, but less likely. Doesn't really, I've never had it happen on a plastic model before, so just something to keep in mind. Okay, clean out thoroughly. And there we go. The Cultists, oh boy, let's try to keep in camera. The Cultists of the Abyss. Got one more model for the Escalation expansion, and then we're going to do something a little different for Blackstone Fortress. So until then, I am Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, signing out.